We are Mike and Missy Bursuch, and this is the Celebrate Your Date podcast.
That's right. And in this episode 1, we are going to talk about what Celebrate Your Date is, how it's helped us, and why you and your spouse must take the Celebrate Your Date challenge in 2023.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Celebrate Your Date podcast. I'm Mike Bursuch.
I'm Missy Bursuch.
And we are going to let you know a little bit about us, who we are, what we do, why we're even doing this podcast, why does it even matter?
That's right. It's super cool.
It is. It's super cool. So we have been married almost 29 years.
That's right. Almost 29 years. 1994.
You don't look a day over 25.
Thanks. Neither do you.
Yeah, right. So we started dating in high school. We started dating super young.
High school sweethearts. I was 15.
Not when we got married.
Not when we got married.
When we were dating. Yeah, I wasn't not dating a 15-year-old.
No, he was 16.
Yeah, 16. Yeah. So, no, when we got married, so we dated in high school. We dated for about 3 years. Yep. And then we got married. You were just barely out of high school.
Just barely 18.
Yeah, she was 18, just turned 18. I had just turned 20. So when we got married, we were super young, super inexperienced, probably didn't have a clue what we were doing.
No, not really. No.
I mean, I didn't.
Not at all.
I don't know about you.
No, kind of had this like fairy tale aspect of what we felt like marriage was supposed to be like.
Yeah. I mean, we both came from great families and, all of that. But let's be honest, when we got married, there's a lot of things we didn't know.
Yeah, there was a lot of struggles.
A lot of things we didn't know. And so, 29 years later, here we are. We're not perfect. We still make a ton of mistakes. Yep. At least I know I do. She's perfect.
No.
But, you know what? And we thought it would be a great idea just to share some of those things.
That's right.
Let you in a little bit into our lives and what's going on. And there's something kind of cool that we did a while back, which we're going to tell you about, that we really think could help you and your spouse and your marriage.
That's right. It doesn't matter what stage your marriage is in right now. It's just something fun that you can do.
Yep. So we have 2 girls. We have 2 kids. Yep. They are both grown adults. We are now grandparents.
That's right. We have a little grandbaby.
We have a little grandson. He's over a year old now. Yep. So time goes by so fast. It does. And here's the deal. With your marriage, you can think, well, we've only been married a year. We've been married 10 years. It goes by so stinking fast.
It does.
Like we're almost at 30 years and we have learned so much. And so we wanted to share this a little bit on this podcast. We're going to be doing this now the 8th of every month. Now, the 8th is a big deal.
It is because we got married on January the 8th.
Yeah, we did. We got married January 8th. And so the 8th, and we're going to share with you in a minute about Celebrate Your Date, why that's important. But on the 8th of every month, we are going to drop a new podcast.
Yes, and it's going to be all different content. Yep. It might be ideas that you could do. It might be a little bit of marital advice, what we've been through to kind of maybe help the listeners. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So wherever you're at right here, if you're on YouTube or you're listening on Apple Podcasts, whatever platform you're listening on, thanks for joining us. Yes, thank you.
We hope that you will seek to tune in every month. And again, we're going to be dropping all kinds of encouragement, tips, advice. We're going to tell you in a minute how you could maybe reach out to us and maybe there's something you'd like to talk about.
Absolutely.
That would be super cool. So Celebrate Your Date. So what is it?
So in 2019, it was going to be our 25th anniversary. And so I kind of had this idea, let's on the 8th of every month be intentional about spending the day together. And it kind of ended in October. We actually spent our 25th anniversary in Hawaii, which was pretty cool. So we kind of started out January 8th, February 8th, March 8th, April 8th, and we were thinking, okay, what can we do to be intentional? And it's kind of stuck. We've done it every day since 2019, with the exception of one day. Michael had to be out of town for one of our 8s. But even then, we FaceTimed, we did what we could to celebrate that date.
Yep. And that was cool. And again, in December of 2019, Missy kind of came to me and she said, hey, she goes, I had this crazy idea. She said, what if next year we spent the 8th of every month doing something, right? What if we spent it, picking something that we like, going to a restaurant that we like. There's no surprise. We love the beach. Yep. We love the
Yep.
boardwalk. We love where we live. And so she said, what if we did that? And I was like, you know what? That's kind of actually a fun idea.
Yeah, and honestly, like even if you think, oh, we don't have the money to spend that, like it was right after Christmas.
Yeah.
So whatever gift cards we got, we saved those for the 8th of our month.
Yeah. And so in 2020, we started actually on our 25th anniversary, January 8th, which was pretty cool. In 2019.
2019.
I said
We started in 2019.
No, we started in 2020 because 2019 was when you had the idea. All right, never mind. See, that's why we should have decided this before, but it's okay. It's all good. So yeah, so we started in the year that we started.
Yes, we
I don't
did.
remember what it was because it's been so many years ago. But every single month on the 8th of the month, which is our date.
Yes, our date.
We spent doing something together. We spent that day together. And we decided, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, what this looks like for you, but we decided to take the day off of work if it was on a work day.
We did.
We were like, you know what? We're going to put it in a vacation day. We're going to take that day off. We're going to go do something. And so you documented.
I did. Like if
everything
you
that
go
we
through
did.
my phone and my notes, every year and every month, it has what we did. So we can go back
Yeah.
and look, and it's kind of fun.
So what are some things in that first year that we did?
Oh my gosh. Well, like I said, we had saved some gift cards, so we would go to a restaurant to a gift card.
Saving gift cards for your
Saving
date.
gift cards.
Perfect
It's
idea. Because
whether
then,
it's Christmas, birthday, whatever.
then you don't have to pay for dinner.
Yeah, we I mean there were days we just spent the day at the beach because we live close, so that's cheap. We didn't spend a lot of money. We spent the day at the beach.
Well, and what's crazy is that year was the year COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, we actually took time and we couldn't really go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
We couldn't really go out in public many places. I remember one of them, we literally went to a park. We got Five Guys burgers.
Yep, we did.
Takeout. And we sat in the car and we watched the birds and the ducks and all that stuff. And we ate burgers in the car.
Yeah.
And that's what we did on our date.
So it doesn't have to be something where you spend a lot of money, where
Right.
you go on a trip,
Right.
where you do things that you're kind of stretching yourself. It's all about being creative. There were some months we did very little, but then there were some months
Yeah.
we could do bigger things.
Well, and like you said, in October of that year, we went to Hawaii.
We did because
So-
we had been planning that.
And what's cool is ever since then, the last 4 years we've been doing it, if we're going to take a trip,
Yep.
we actually intentionally plan to be gone
Yep.
on our date. Like this past September, we went to Colorado
Yep.
and we actually planned it so that September 8th, we were in Colorado. I mean, there's been several of those times where we've been on trips and we have intentionally
Yep.
thought, let's be gone on our date so that we can say we celebrated our date
Yep.
somewhere else. What do you think, like us doing this, what do you think it's like done for us?
Well, I feel like the reason why I think that we've kind of kept it going is, we both kind of have stressful jobs at times, which I'm sure a lot of
Yeah,
people do,
it's work
especially
stressful, sure.
once COVID hit, a lot of stuff changed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so saying that we were going to do something on the 8th of every month, it was super intentional, and we always had something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's
we would
huge.
talk about it. Like if we would have a bad day, okay, well, what are we going to do on our 8th? Let's write it down. Let's plan it. And it's been super cool because I feel like sometimes like we'll go to the gym and we'll work out, or, we'll, take some kind of course in something that we're interested in to do
Yeah,
self-improvement.
we'll work on other things.
Yeah, but sometimes once we get married and once we have kids
Yeah.
or whatever stage, like we kind of put marriage on the back burner.
It's true. And nobody does it on purpose. I mean, let's be honest. No matter where you find your marriage right now,
Yeah.
you didn't get there on purpose. Like, I mean, it's not like, hey, I hope someday I'll be, have a terror, whatever. But if you don't do something intentional to try to make it better, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I will say too, like one of us would at least post a picture or two on Facebook.
Yeah.
And not just to kind of, put in everybody's face, hey, look what we did. But that's also been fun. Like on the 8th,
Yeah.
it shows up on our memories.
Because Facebook
Yeah, I know.
remembers all your
Yeah,
stuff,
all of our memories.
right?
But that's been cool,
That
too.
is cool. And now what we'll literally is on our 8th, we can literally look up and say, hey, on this date last year, on this date 2 years ago, on this date 3 years ago, look at all the stuff that you were able to do. And I think the key word when it comes to marriage is just being intentional.
That's right. That's
On
right.
purpose.
Yeah.
Like do this on purpose. Like don't think, oh, I wish we could have a date. I wish. And what Missy said is so true is what we've done now is literally when we have one of our dates on the 8th, we'll literally go, well, what are we going to do next month? You
Yeah.
know? And it creates this cool like conversation all month about, oh, I thought we could ride the ferry, or what if we did this, or what if we did that? And let me just say this really quick. Maybe you're listening and you're like, oh, well, we don't have the money to do that. Or, oh, you know what? We can't take a day off of work, or we have young kids. The important thing is, again, intentionality. It doesn't matter. We're not saying you have to spend the entire day together if you can't. Like, don't look at it as it's all or nothing.
Well, and I think too, like when you're dating, you're creative on.
That's true.
Like, how can I come up with a creative date? Because I want to win this person. And so it's all about creativity too. Even being married 29 years, like, okay, well, maybe we don't have as much to spend this month. So what are we going to do? And like, I feel like celebrate your date. Like the kind of the reason why we called it that is because date has two meanings, of course. Date can be our eighth, but our date can be us. Like you should still go on dates with your spouse.
She's my date.
That's right. It doesn't matter how long you've been married. And celebrate. Like, I feel like in the world we live in, we just have to celebrate. Like we don't celebrate enough.
It's true.
So we're celebrating each other. We're celebrating the date that we got married, things that we get to do with each other. And it's kind of been cool because since we've been doing it, we've seen our friends
we have
kind of do it too. And that has gotten us really excited. And that's kind of where all of this has kind of started.
Yeah, we've seen some of our friends, even our kids, are wanting to kind of spend their date together. And again, it's just a concept like the date is the date of your anniversary, and then your date is your spouse. So you talk about creativity in dating. What's one of the most creative things I did when we were dating?
Oh my gosh. I do remember one time when I was gone, you came and you hid Snickers.
You love Snickers.
Was
it
like
Milky Ways or was it Snickers?
It might have been Milky Ways. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But the little snack size in like my drawers, under my pillow, things like that. One time I walked out and there were balloons on my car.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, why do we stop doing stuff like that for each other?
But that is true. I mean, honestly, and we get it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it, you know, well, I've got her, I've got him. We've lived together for 15 years. We have kids. We, you know, all of this stuff, and things kind of get kind of stale. But that's where this can help in that creativity sense is you can actually have conversation around, hey, what do you want to do? Or, hey, we wanted to go try this. I mean, we've done everything from spend time in New York City. On our 8th, we went to Florida. We went to Sanibel. I mean, we've done some trips. But again, we've gotten ice cream and walked the boardwalk.
Well, I remember Michael got really sick in 2020. And so the couple months after he got sick, he just really didn't feel like doing a lot. And I remember one time in particular, when we got home, it was kind of stormy outside. We blew up the air mattress, we put it in our living room, and we watched a movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, that might kind of sound a little bit cheesy, like you've been married all this time, why would you do that? But that's one of the ones that stick out in my mind the most because it's different. It's not just going out to eat or it's not spending a lot of money. It was just doing something together.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's why we want to encourage you and challenge you, really. Take that date and make it special. Make it intentional. Again, it doesn't have to be massive. If you can go on a trip, go on a trip. That's awesome. But if you can blow up an air mattress and light a few candles and watch a movie together,
do that.
That's awesome. Do something special together. So here's where this is all kind of culminating. We've been doing this now for a while. And here's the deal for us. We don't plan on stopping. Like, this is now part of our marriage. It's now part of who we are. I mean, December 8th, January 8th, like, we're already thinking about what are the things that we can do. So why we did this is we want to now hopefully challenge and encourage you to make it part of your marriage and make it part of what you do with your spouse. And again, it can look different for every single one of you, but you know your marriage and you know where you're at. And we all could use a little push forward. We could all use a little more intentionality. And so we're simply offering in 2023, we're calling it the Celebrate Your Date Challenge.
And you know what? There's been a lot of challenges over the years going around, and they've all been super important. But I feel like this is near and dear to our heart.
Yeah.
And I feel like that we really want to develop a community of marriages that are going to do this and encourage each other and give each other ideas. And honestly, it's going to strengthen our marriages.
Yeah. I mean, there's been like the ice bucket challenge. What are some other challenges?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. I'm just putting you on the spot because we're just flowing right here. But and sometimes we're so willing to like take a challenge. And listen, we literally are here. No matter where you're listening or watching this, we are saying we dare you in 2023, and we're doing this early so you have time to figure this out. Take the Celebrate Your Date Challenge in 2023. So here's what this looks like. Whatever your anniversary is, if you got married, we got married January 8th. If you got married June 14th, right? Then the 14th is your date.
It's your date.
And then you're going to decide January 14th, you're going to do something together. You're going to be intentional. And then you're going to do it again on February and March and April. And we are challenging you for 12 months. And here's what we think is going to happen. If you're committed and if you fight through it and if you figure it out, you're going to have an absolute blast.
That's right.
You're going to document the stuff that you did. And what's going to be so cool is now you can go, hey, remember when we did that? Yeah. Remember when we did this? How much fun was that? And we think what's going to happen is the same thing that happened to us. It's just going to be part of your month and part of your marriage.
And it's going to be so cool too, because we're not asking you to do something for the next 5 years of your life.
Right.
It's 12 months.
Right.
But we really feel like that if you do this, you're going to be like us and you're going to say, we're going to be creative. And every date, every month for the rest of our lives, we're going to try to do something.
And again, all we're asking you to do is take the challenge.
Yep.
Say, let's try this. Why not try this? Why not talk about it? And let's be honest, we all need a little more intentionality in our marriages. If you're like, oh, well, this would never work. Oh, we never go out on any dates. Or, oh, our jobs are this or our kids are that. If you're already making excuses for why it's not going to work, then guess what? It's not going to work.
You're always going to find a reason. Trust me.
It's not going to work.
The 1 month that Michael was gone, he was actually out of town. And at first I was a little bit, this is kind of breaking our, our stretch here. But
I didn't have a choice. I had to be there.
He didn't have a choice. And we FaceTimed and I did some things with some very special people of mine. And I still celebrated.
Yeah, we still did.
So it's just about the intentionality. And I just would like to put a side note in here. We're not experts on anything.
Nope.
With marriage, like we're still figuring out day by day and we still make mistakes and we still argue and things like that, but we are really trying to be intentional in building our relationship and we want to help other people do it, and we want to do it together. We want to do it with you.
That's it. So here's what we need you to do. Here is your course of action. You can go to celebrateyourdate.com, go to our website.
Yep.
On there, we've got some information about what Celebrate Your Date is, what it's done for us, a lot of the things we talked about on this podcast. And then there is a challenge there, and we want you to fill it out. So it's literally just give us your name and your email address, and that is saying that we are signing up to take the challenge. And what we're going to do is periodically, we might be sending you just some encouraging emails, maybe some ideas, some tips, some tricks, that kind of stuff. And then also, we want you to follow us on social media.
That's
so
right.
we have an Instagram, it's Celebrate Your Date. We have a Facebook page as well. And here's, as Missy said earlier, we want this to kind of turn into a community of people that are all being intentional and striving to make their marriages better. And so no matter how long have you been married, whether you've been married a year, you've been married 6 months, you've been married 60 years, you have young kids, old kids, you're empty nesters, it doesn't matter. Your marriage can grow, can strengthen. We believe this Celebrate Your Date Challenge is going to help with that. So follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, just subscribe to our channel. That way, every 8th of the month, we're going to drop a new podcast. And we appreciate you tuning in today.
And we're not going to take a lot of your time.
Nope.
We're going to do once a month. We might do a special one every once in a while that we'll kind of announce. We're going to do giveaways. We're going to do ideas. We just want this to be a community of people that just want to have fun together. Sometimes we forget to have fun in marriage.
That's it,
and that's kind of boring when you don't have fun.
Yeah. And nobody likes boring.
Nobody likes boring.
No. I mean, it's got to be spiced up every once in a while.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. So, hey, you can also drop us a line, hello@celebrateyourdate.com. We would love to just hear what you're doing. I mean, what's so cool is the friends of ours we know that are actually doing this. They're hashtagging Celebrate Your Date, which you can actually use. We'll follow that hashtag Celebrate Your Date. We will repost your stuff. Listen, again, we just want to build a community of people that are saying we want to be intentional about our marriage, about our date.
That's right.
And we believe for us, this has made an absolute huge difference. We're going to continue to do it regardless of whether you take the challenge or not, but we really believe this can help you.
And what's even fun is I'm excited to see what the people who take the challenge
Yeah,
do,
it's
what
gonna be
you
cool.
guys do. Like, it's going to be so excited to see how creative you are and what you did. And, you know, I know that when we see our friends do it, it makes us happy.
It does.
It makes
Yeah,
us
it's
happy
cool.
to see people out celebrating and doing things and
Yep.
with people they love. So it's going to be super cool. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, we're not going to take any more of your time. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Again, go to celebrateyourdate.com, follow us on social media, drop us a line. We would love, love, love to hear from you. And who knows, maybe we'll bring you on the podcast.
Who
Maybe
knows?
we'll interview you.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. So let us know what you do. I mean, we would love to have you sitting here with us
Yep.
1 month, just talking about stuff that's going on in your marriage and how we can all grow together. And so again, thanks so much. This was
Yeah,
fun.
thanks. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait for next month
All
already.
right. So January 8th is our 29th anniversary.
29th.
We'll be dropping a podcast. And so make sure you subscribe and tune in to celebrate your date. Thanks for watching.
Have a good day.
See ya.